General, what entry is made in a docket to indicate the last date of investigation? What do you write there?
A docket is divided. It will have what you call an investigation diary. Just like when you are in court, you've got a case, your case where you write your record every day. Now, in the case of a docket, there's got a C part of it, C5. Now here, from the first information of crime, where you write, then you will write first information crime as per A1. Interviewed complainant, and then Mrs. So-and-so alleges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he gave me a list of witnesses to interview. I interviewed so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Statement of witness so-and-so attached here to as annex so-and-so. Statement of so-and-so attached here to as annex so-and-so. You go now to a point where you say you received this evidence that you attach now in the B side of the document, and then you got this medical document or certificate that you also attach in the document. But everything that you do, you make entries in the investigation diary. Now, to an extent that when you have now, let's say, the supervisor now.
So there you note what you have done.
Yes, and then it is also communication between the supervisor and the investigating officer. Sometimes even the prosecutors will write in the investigation diary. Now, every now and then you will bring the docket for inspection to your supervisor. As a supervisor, I will write with a red pen now and say, this docket have been too long outstanding, or interview so-and-so, or sometimes I will guide you as an investigator. Let's say it's a murder case standing, or interview so-and-so, or sometimes I will guide you as an investigator. Let's say it's a murder case. It's a complicated case. Sometimes you're telling me what you have done. Then I say to you, all right, I think you must also do 1, 2, 3, 4, consider do 1, 2, 3, 4. I write in the docket. And then once you have also received your, let's say you are at a point where you want to arrest, you will say, now the docket is fully completed, it's going to be discussed with the prosecutor. Then it goes to the prosecutor. The prosecutor will read the docket and then ascertain the facts and then advise on the investigation diary as well. Or either put an annexer typed, but mostly they write also in the docket, and then the investigative officer now is guided, then run on the inquiries of the prosecutor. Now, the last date in the docket, you will see that if the last date is 2018, where is this docket? Where was this docket all along? It's somewhere. It's not being worked on. And we've got a lot of them in this report. These are the dockets that were said to be gathering dust in my office, but they were not being attended to anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. I follow that.
General, can I just clarify? When in that paragraph 127, where you say these figures belie any assertion that the PKTT was functioning effectively or making meaningful investigative progress, is this a general statement about the PKTT, or you referring just to the dockets that you had? Because the evidence that we've had is that the 118 are not the sum of what the PKTT has had to deal with since it was formed.
I'm indicating the fact that there's a notion that says that the PKTT is the most effective, hardworking, prolific team that is operating. But under the circumstances where I'm sitting with so many dockets that were last seen in 2018, 2017, 2020, I can't say they were effective at all.
You say even in respect of past dockets that were not part of the 118?
Yes.
And you say in respect of past dockets, you say that because? Because as I understand from this report, and again, it's just trying to clarify your position, that this report speaks to what was availed in compliance with your instruction to General Sintumule, which is 118 dockets. And then you've gone through ones that were last investigated some years back over a period, and you comment that that is evidence that the PKTT, that it's a lie, that the PKTT was effective. And I'm trying to understand that from these 118 dockets, you make the statement that in its life, therefore, the PKTT was never effective. I'm just trying to understand whether you confine yourself to the 118 or you're saying since it was formed in 2018, it was never effective.
Well, I'm going to speak as an experienced investigating officer now from my corner, not in connection with the PKTT alone. I'm saying, even though the PKTT provided documents and they can put their dockets here and they say these are our successes, I have a document that I've prepared that along the way we are going to discuss about it, where I say I've got so many cases that are between 1 year and 5 years. I want to know, why do we still have a docket as long as between 1 year and 5 years? Why do I have a docket that is between, how many dockets in the country per province? That says I've got so many dockets that are between let's say 5 years and 10 years. Why do we have so many dockets? The reason why I'm taking this route, commissioners, I want to say, the fact that they say to you, remember they prepared the report, that says these are our successes. But you may find that the success they spoke about, a docket that was supposed to have been completed in 2 years was completed in 5 years. It does not necessarily mean that they are effective still, even though it was a success. To me, a successful and a very strong team, I say, and that is what is the report that we produced, that was approved even by the National Commissioner, to say, I have so many dockets in respective environments that are, you find that, let's say in crime intelligence, we've got dockets that are 20 years old and over. Now, I ask myself a question, why do I have a docket that is 20 years old?
Okay. Let me interrupt you, because I think you're going wider than what I was seeking clarification on. We will come back to it, but let me maybe highlight this to explain my question. What I wanted to understand, and I'm not asking you to respond now, we can deal with it later, is you have highlighted from this report a number of cases by year that were last investigated, and you highlight them to demonstrate that as you say in paragraph 127, that in fact they were not as effective and successful as they have claimed to be. That's how I've understood what you were doing with that table. And my question was, do you, on the basis of what you have highlighted or what you have found in this report, is it the sole basis on which you say they were not effective since they were formed? I want to suggest to you, because of how you're answering, I want to suggest to you that pack it, because I know there will be a much more detailed discussion about this, and pack it and keep it in mind, and then we'll get back to it at that time. But that's really what I'm asking you. Okay, thank you. You may proceed.
Paragraph
128.
128. General Mkhwanazi has now gone so far as to claim that the relevant arrests were effected within a week of the dockets being returned to KwaZulu-Natal. This assertion is, with respect, incongruous and unimpressive when one has regard to the fact that there were no signed J50 forms in respect of these dockets, coupled with the fact that the PKTT had possession of arrest instructions for more than 3 years without acting on them. The suggestion that it suddenly acted with exceptional efficiency once the dockets were returned to KZN is implausible and calls into question the credibility of that claim. My worry is that, I think we've also heard that the National Commissioner said people are being arrested now that the docket have been returned to KZN. But if indeed it is those documents, the dockets that we are talking about, They were there for more than 3 years without being arrested. But be that as it may, in paragraph 129, more significantly, General Mkhwanazi has not disclosed to this commission or to the public why these arrests were not effected when they should have been, and why the last recorded day of investigation in these dockets date back as far as 3 years ago, notwithstanding that the suspects were already identified and named. Furthermore, emphasis must be placed on the fact that when General Sintumule attempted to transfer the docket back to KZN as contemplated by General Khumalo's action plan presented on 6th of March 2025, General Mkhwanazi refused to accept them into the province. Accordingly, it is his refusal that directly contributed to the delay in advancing the investigations and not my conduct. Commissioners, General Sintumule was here, and she also said they were not meant to be kept at head office. They were in transit to go to KZN. But when she made a call to General Mkhwanazi rejected them. Chairperson, with respect, allow me to raise this one. I'm not being critical, but I'm just putting it with respect, Chair. When the Chair says, I don't know who gave an instruction, when they said General Mkhwanazi rejected the docket because he felt that this docket, he didn't know how they left the province, and the Chair said, I can put myself in General Mkhwanazi's shoes. I can put myself in General Mkhwanazi's shoes because this docket were taken, I was not told, I didn't know how. I still believe, Chair, that two wrongs doesn't make a right. The fact that these dockets come from that province and now they say they are coming back, you can't say I don't want them. Now, then Commissioner Khumalo says, all of you must accept that you failed the people of South Africa and you must apologize. I am the very first one to stand up. Immediately after, when this thing exploded to the media, I realized that we are now embarrassing ourselves, we are embarrassing the police, we are putting the police into disrepute, we are embarrassing government. And then I said to the people of South Africa, I really apologize that we have to go through this, and we as the management of the police, we have to do this to the people of South Africa. I'm the first one to say I apologize. I was even mocked. They created the body of a dead person who says, I apologize. But I apologize because to me, it's an embarrassment. Commissioner, I come back 37 years old, 37 years doing this job. Now, to me, I felt embarrassed, and I grew up the rank. Like all of them, there's a single detective, especially in the DPCI, who can say to you, all of them have worked under me, all of them. In the whole country, as we speak. Now, I'm just saying, it's not like I'm talking from somewhere who doesn't know what he's doing. I apologize, I felt bad. I have the qualifications for the position that I'm in. Even the one of the hawks that was advertised, they put the qualifications, I applied because I have the qualifications. So I'm just saying, Commissioner, I apologized, but I wanted to address this fact that says, the fact that General Mkhwanazi rejected those dockets on its own shouldn't have been allowed. The National Commissioner was supposed to say, General, we have the dockets here. We already agreed to the minister that this docket must go there, and now we cannot say no when the docket must come because we already agreed to the minister in terms of the action plan. But the National Commissioner didn't do that. Instead, what he did, he said, let General Sibiya then apply his mind and maybe make sure that this docket receive attention. That's when we had to then apply, because of the fact that we can't send people from Gauteng to KZN to the place they don't know. And they need to be backed up, to be supported. They need to sleep at the hotel. And some of them, they will start now studying the docket, then going to meet people. Now, it's a process. And that was caused by what? By the fact that General Mkhwanazi said, no, I don't want this docket in my province. That's the cause of the delay of everything. But I don't say I'm distancing myself from the confusion. Commissioners, I'm not saying I didn't participate. I accept my role in the whole confusion. Thank you very much, Commissioners. Let me proceed.
You have paragraph 131.
My reinstatement to SAPS and appointment as the Deputy National Commissioner. General Mkhwanazi sought to make much of the fact that the SAPS did not oppose my appeal to the Labour Court, challenging the Labour Court decision not to grant my reinstatement request, after the Labour Court had found my dismissal to be substantively and procedurally unfair, and further that approximately a year after my reinstatement, I was appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner. This emphasis is misplaced and misleading. The police fired me unlawfully so, and I challenged and General Nkamasa, and the court agreed with me that he made a false statement under oath and that he lacks honor and integrity and that I was falsely accused and everything. And the police then tried to object to my reinstatement. They even mentioned the fact that his position has already been filled. The judge said, no, even if it's been filled, the police, you can still place him somewhere. Even myself, I said, I don't mind going back, even if you put me somewhere in a corner and give a chair, I'll sit there as long as I'm back at the police, because this is where my career is. That's why I left there, came back to the police, because it was a long outstanding court battle at the Labour Appeal Court. And when the Labour Appeal Court gave me that option, I grabbed it. By portraying these events as if they were irregular or suggestive of wrongdoing, General Mkhwanazi distorts their true significance and seek to impugn my integrity without factual basis. While I cannot speak to the reasons why SAPS elected not to oppose my appeal, I am aware that such a decision would have been taken on the basis of its own legal advice and internal considerations. The uncontested fact remains that the Labour Appeal Court found my dismissal unfair and ordered that I be reinstated at the position. I would have been as if I never left. SAPS took a decision not to pursue an unmeritorious opposition of the appeal, and my later appointment complied with not only all applicable procedures and standards, but with the Labour Appeal Court. So,
Labour Appeal Court order.
The Labour Appeal Court order, yes. That's the Labour Appeal Court order. The Labour Court actually ruled in my favor, but didn't reinstate. I was still not happy, and then I went back and said, but Judge, you said all the right things about me, that I was unlawfully, and you mentioned everything, that it was unfair and procedural, but you don't reinstate me. Then the judge said, no, go back to work. And I must say, to me, the excitement of just going back to the work, because I joined the police when I was 20 years old. I was very young, and I grew up in the police. Now, where I was earning comfortably more than even the National Commissioner. But because of my work is to fight crime, and I grew up in the police, I was not comfortable to work in a political environment like in the city of Joburg just because there's money. I opted to go back with the hope that they are not going to take my salary down. But when I came to the police then we were negotiating my salary because they said to me, you cannot come here and you want to earn a salary more than the National Commissioner. And then I wasn't signing because I was still going between the lawyer and to them, but they want to take my salary down. Then they said, okay, sign here so that at least a month and you are in the court, you are going to get your salary. Then they started with 1.5. That's what happened. Then I started there with the hope that we'll negotiate my salary. I never got to get to that point because along the way I was then promoted, which took my salary almost closer. Then I kept quiet because I was then running, doing my work on a daily basis. I'm proceeding. I know I'm wasting your time, evidence. The way you look at me, I'm worried sometimes. You threaten me.
We have limited time, General. Let's continue.
Yeah, I see. And when I look at you, I get worried. General Mkhwanazi's attempt to characterize this reinstatement and appointment as untoward or irregular is therefore unfounded. More importantly, it reflects either a fundamental misunderstanding of the legal effects of the court order, or a deliberate effort to cast a lawful process in an adverse light. In either event, the attempt is unwarranted, and when viewed in the broader context of the evidence telling, I further refer the Commission to paragraph 23 to 29 of this affidavit. General Mkhwanazi further takes issue with the fact that my appointment as Deputy National Commissioner occurred approximately 1 year after my reinstatement to SAPS, seemingly to suggest that the timing of the appointment reflects adversely on my suitability. This criticism overlooks my demonstrable permanence during the intervention period and is unwarranted.
Keep going.
Now, what I want to point out, I was promoted to become a Major General in 2010. General Mkhwanazi was promoted to become a Major General in 2011. 4 months into his new appointment, he was appointed to be the acting National Commissioner of the Police. And there were concerns raised by the Lieutenant Generals and the Deputy National Generals and say, this is our subordinate. We can't stand up when he walks in, and he just got promoted now. Overnight, he was promoted to become a Deputy Lieutenant General. Overnight. So that he can continue to act as the National Commissioner. Of which was removed within, I think, 7 months into that position, because what I want to say is that
does his testimony not say that he opted out? Am I mistaken?
I choose to disagree, Chair.
All right, let's.
Yes, I choose to disagree on that one.
All right, thank you.
Yes, but be that as it may, Chair, he's querying the fact that I was appointed a general from 2010 and I was reinstated as if I never left to 2022, which makes it something like 13 years, a Major General. But where I was a head of department still. I progressed. I was working very hard wherever I've been. Now, for him to say I was not supposed to have been promoted, it's as if I could say, look who is talking. Because I was promoted in 2010, was promoted in 2011. But the fact that he was promoted into acting as a national commissioner due to political reasons or political intervention, because it is a presidential prerogative as to who he appoints, maybe, but the person must be competent and suitable. They appointed General Mkhwanazi. And the procedure in the police that you must at least stay 2 years in a rank before you can be promoted to the next rank. Now, in 2011, we became a Major General. But within 2011, he became an acting national commissioner. And as the other seniors objected, within a night, overnight, he became a major, a lieutenant general. That made him now to be able to continue acting as the national commissioner.
And which year is this? The promotion is in 2011.
2011.
Still 2011.
Still 2011. That's the period I was deeply involved in the Richard Mkhwanazi matter. At some point, I attended a meeting with him to go and see President Zuma in relation to the same Richard Mkhwanazi matter. So I just want to end there. So